Hello, my name is Socrates, and the concepts presented may offend you.
What is the soul? Many have asked, but few have been able to answer with this question. To which I assert, the fundamental premise being that if we lose approximately between 7 and 21 grams upon the time our bodies die, then there is not only the factor of what we do in measuring, but conditioning the spirit before the fall after death. The Egyptians believed that there was an impenetrable blackness that surrounded our universe. So black that the gods could not pass through it. But what if that were much like a dampening of a frequency? We ourselves are composed of cosmic radiation, functioning organically as the radiation comes through a newly bred body, that once the second trimester is in play, the body of the infant now capable of conscious thought and movement, that in the developing capacity of will, is that not now the time to instrumentally aid in the attraction of cosmic radiation? That the soul is a part of you that is probably immortal regardless of faith, as there is a scientific measurement and thus, the capacity to aid or hinder the being in question. Emotion is what we are at a basic full is the fundamental part of the soul that defines action potential and the capacity of the developing body to understand growth, that with the understanding of the radiation, to cultivate or destroy, that if we as a spirit of frequencies, is not the most sheer attack on humanity the use of explosives to kill if to disturb the frequency, then will not be soul death. If we were to introduce developing consciousness to emitters at a specific frequency, would that not enable the spirit to become more than man? Would the consciousness of the being factor into exposure to these frequencies, that in the early years, explanation of that which is conscious decision and what is determinative as an act will, would that not create a better developed body as to acknowledge pain causes a better heal to the wood, but not only relying on the factors of your cells and nervous system's instinctive response, but to all the aid of your body with scientific instruments to literally produce will itself with the fundamental aspect of will understood? My question is this: if I weight the heart to a feather, and it is weighted by guilt, what is guilt but a substance? If it is the consequence of others as we pass through a different dimension than dark matter, if it is the direct will of each wrong done to a knowledge, or is this the will of not a God who is light but is translucent? For if to say that will is, then is not the eternal soul. As well the eternal soul, if corrupt by deed, is to be measured, should not that determine the funeral? If the spirit is corrupt, what do we do with those weighted down by their consequence to others? What is the mass of light? Of other frequencies of radiation, does not lighten the spirit or righting wrongs righteously? Should we destroy the spirit of the wicked that is eternal for the misdeeds done to others? Or if we were to understand the spirit so fundamentally, would it be justful to implant the wicked and sadistic into livestock? So many things to study and so little space for into disrupting religion. If none prayed, would we be able to implant Allah into a body for questioning, as what his views on the Taliban are, with machines admit and a psychometric interview? Would not we know what if our subject of prayer, and if so, we see our darkness of man in thee? Would, if so, it be unjust to embody such man in livestock or slave labor for his ill intention and misdeeds? If to will is to want, and to want to see yourself in the world, scared of repercussions to yourself, would not such a being live unborn? Who would born, but the challenger to such Christ, such Allah, such Zeus? We are equal in birth if naturally born, to which the radiation accumulates within the pregnant womb's fetus. Thus we ourselves are our own consequence into willing the love of a being, whom would misalocate or apply the strength of such a love without conscious observation to the being and his will to will him able ourselves as mortal creatures.
Thanks for listening. Click the like or subscribe buttons to support this channel.